Hello everyone, welcome to another episode on Angela Lapetina Presents. Now I have a special guest from the United Kingdom. His name is Taavi Peelo. He's a director, actor and producer. Let's learn more about him. All right.
It is a very cold dark night for a pretty woman to be walking alone. Would you allow me the honor of accompanying you on your way to ensure your safety?
I think I can make my own way home, thanks.
Oh, won't walk with the vampire slayer, but falls into the arms of first vampire that comes along, don't you? Are you Twilight fan?
I've read some of the books.
Ah, I knew it. You're all the same. Think vampires are cool. Vampires are trendy. But don't consider the fact that vampires want to kill you.
No, I hadn't really thought about it that way.
Your sort never do.
Hello. How are you? Taavi, nice to meet you.
Me too. Can you hear me? Well.
Yes, I can hear very well. What about you?
Yeah, it's all fine. It's just been a while since I used Zoom.
But thank you so much, Taavi, for being my podcast show, Angela Lapetina Presents, and also in Radio Illuminate. And pues you are director and producer. You're originally from Estonia, but you reside in the United Kingdom?
Originally, yes, I was born in Estonia.
Yes.
But I've been here in England for a long time now. I think it's close to 10 years.
Awesome.
So-
Beautiful people from Estonia. I met some classmates when I was doing my bachelor's couple years, I don't want to say couple years, like a decade ago. Yes, I met people from Estonia and very beautiful people. Same as British people, very beautiful.
Yeah, well, apparently Estonians are really serious people. So it's kind of nice to hear these good things. But yeah.
Fantastic. So just tell me about your journey. You know, I found in your biography that you started theater at the age of 10. Can you tell us how was your adventure at that age being the theaters?
Yeah, I started around 9 or 10. I can't really remember. I think it was actually 9. Has to be 9. So I always knew I wanted to be an actor since a very early age. So I joined the local, kind of like a drama group, because well, I wanted to be a film actor, but in Estonia, and especially in my town, because I was born in a really small town, we didn't really have such thing as a film actor. It just didn't exist. If you wanted to be in films, you need to join the theater, or you just had to be a really famous person. So around 9 or 10 years, I was 9 or 10 years old, so I joined the local drama group and started doing all those performances as a kid, which was really good. But obviously you have to go to school and you have other things. So it was just a time management, how you can do all those things. But yeah, that's how it started. It actually started in a local drama group.
Yes. And what inspired you to become an actor? Why at that age, for example, but you started that your small steps on the age of 9 and 10. So what inspired you to be in that to be in as an actor?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question because I don't really have an answer. I really don't, because
it's more interesting. Not have an answer because maybe you inspired yourself.
Yeah, I think it actually might be because many actors and actresses, they have this one specific moment or this one specific thing that inspired them. Whatever that might be, like a family history or this person or this thing. I never had that because I knew from a very early age I wanted to be an actor, and that goes way back to when I was like 4 or 5 years old. Like, it's always been this thing. This is what I want to do, and whatever it takes, I'm going to do it. I never had plan B. I never had any other options. You know, like most kids, they have like, oh, I want to be a policeman. And next week they are like, oh, no, I want to be a business owner. I want to be a hairdresser. I never had this. I always wanted to be an actor and that's it. But what inspired? Yeah, I never had this one specific moment, one specific thing.
Exactly. So in other words, like you always see yourself as an actor. So it's like you knew that you was born with that skill already. Like I know. It's like I'm saying, like I know my mission. I know this is what I will be because I know this is what that's my passion. Period. That's comes from you. So it's not because I saw the cinema and I saw a particular actor and actresses and I feel I want to be like him. So you says, okay, this is something, my passion, this is I want to be, and that's it. Like you said, like when we see kids and they say, I will be a police, I will be a fireman, I want to be this, and they know they can see themselves to be that profession when they become adults. So it's that's beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, I never had this one thing, and it's really strange because it was just one of those things I just knew. You know, sometimes you just know that's the thing you need to do. And even as a kid, when my parents tried to record something on the cameras, like doing home videos and stuff like that, I was the one jumping on camera. Oh, I'm here, record me, I'm doing some silly stuff.
Yes,
that's good. I think it's just something I've always had in me, to some sort of a degree.
Fantastic. And what about your trajectory from as a theater actor and then you going to TV and film actor? How was the transformation? Not transformation, but yeah, kind of transformation because it's not a transition, you still be an actor, but can you tell us about that trajectory?
Well, acting has always been this number one thing for me. But when you start your acting career, let's be honest, you're not going to get many opportunities. It just don't happen just like that. You need to work hard. So the reason why I kind of like transitioned to directing was to create more opportunities to myself and also other people around me. And that's the reason why I started, writing screenplays, scripts, producing my own films, short films, feature films, just to create more opportunities instead of like waiting around. Because exactly. I don't like to wait around because everyone knows acting is a huge waiting game. You just need to you just wait for the phone call from your agent or you have a casting there, but while you wait, you can actually do something useful, and it's really easy now. Everyone has laptops. Just open up your laptop and start writing. And the worst thing that could happen is, it's not going to go anywhere, the film you make. But you have this experience.
Exactly.
Now you know what to change, what to improve, and you can only win eventually.
That's good. No, and yes, a good point. Like you says that maybe you're not the only one in this industry that they facing the challenges, because I've been interviewed. I know I have actors and actresses friends, and they say the same thing, that it's a challenge to be an actor, especially in the independent sector. But yes, and one of the best things to do to open opportunities is learn not only the acting skills, but the administration and technical field to be able to, sometimes not only to be a directors, but also producers. And in this, that's the beauty I see from the independent industry, that the people that many people I know, they're doing multiple things, they're multitasking. And I see that you're doing the same thing, and there's something I give my respect and admiration to you and all people like you that do the same. It's beautiful.
I just feel like you just have to these things. Acting comes in many shapes and forms. It's when you want to be an actor, it's just not acting on camera. You need to know what's going on behind the scenes. You need to know what director does. You need to know what the assistant director does. You need to know what the gaffer does. You know, everything, and it just helps you in the long term. And obviously, then comes you need to learn different skills, stage combat, languages, accents, and all these kinds of things. Like it's not just acting. It's life.
It's
it actually
life.
is life. Like you need to know everything.
Exactly. And how you deal with rejection when you go for casting, right? This is a question I ask to all actors and actresses. How you manage that? You know, it's like the hit, the feelings and things how you manage that?
I think I'm okay with it. I really do. I always had one good thing about me is my mindset is really strong. If anything is good about me, it's my mind. Like even if I get rejected, which has happened many, many times, you just think, okay, it was a rejection, it was a no, just keep going. Go for the next one. The most important thing is not to overthink.
Exactly.
Like even if you get rejected, it's not because you're not good enough. They just wanted someone else, you know. Maybe they wanted someone with a different hair color. They wanted someone skinnier. They wanted someone just different.
Yes, exactly.
And sometimes you can't control.
Exactly. It's like a job interview for any industry. Like you attend a job interview with all the hope that you will get the job, but it's the same. At the end of the day, they're looking, maybe they have a different vision of the candidate, and then not the rejection doesn't mean we are not good. I'm speaking like I'm not an actor and actress, so I like to give that comparison, like for people that are watching this podcast or listening in Radio Luminite, they can see the more how can I say, more a different view. Like, okay, this is the situation for as an acting field, the rejection, but we can kind of similar or can be same as a job interview. We feel down. It happens to me before when I've been attending to job interviews and then say, no, this is not what I'm looking for, but thank you for expressing your experience. And you feel like, oh.
No, absolutely. And I think I'm a really good person to actually talk about it because, you know, obviously I'm making my own feature films. So that means I'm also casting people. I'm involved. But yeah, it's never been like, yeah, you're not good enough. Like everyone's good. Like you can't, that's the thing about acting. You can't be a bad actor.
Exactly.
You just can't. There's no such thing as a bad actor. It's just an actor. Exactly. And we all have different skills, what we can do the best, but acting is just trying to be someone else for that, you know, that moment. And there's no such thing as bad actor.
Exactly. No, and also the opportunity to become someone that in the real life you cannot be able to, you won't be able to be. For example, if you had a fantasy like a kid to be a superhero or to be a gangster or something, at least you have the opportunity in television or a movie or short film or feature film to portray that. I think that's a fun part.
Oh, absolutely. I think, yeah, I've done it so many times as a kid, you know, like watching a film, and that's actually the thing I did a lot as a kid. I was watching a film and I imagined myself to be in that film, this specific character. Like, for example, I watched the Spider-Man, the first one that came out ages ago. I think it was like 2002 or whatever the year it was. I was really young back then. And I imagined I'm that character. I'm doing these things in a film. And it's not weird. It's really good thing to have as a kid and also as an adult. If you're an actor, just observe what everyone is doing in films and pick few things up. And it helps in the long term.
Exactly. And also, but you graduated from an acting school and then you moved to UK, right?
I moved to Yes. I didn't really go to the acting school in Estonia. I just did the theater for like long time, probably like 8 years or so, which was kind of like a school, to be fair. And then obviously I wanted to be a film actor, and there's no such thing in Estonia, so I moved to England to pursue my career even further. And then I joined the acting school. When I moved to England, I didn't really have a plan. I just knew, this is the place I want to go and see what happens. Which is probably how I make most of my decisions, really.
That's good.
Just to go. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't. But makes things interesting, I guess. But yeah, I joined the acting school when I arrived to England, literally like the next week.
Great. And you got your first role in 8 feature film, and was the film was in premiere in the festival in the Cannes 2014. That's the first role that you got. Can you? How was it? How was that film? The experience?
I think it was actually a short film. Yeah, I think it was actually close to be a short film and a feature film. Like, it was a bit longer than a short film, but quite not long enough to be a feature film. So it was kind of like a between. I don't really remember much about that film, but it was my first role, and it came through my acting class. Yeah, as soon as I joined the acting class, and then they offered me a role. I guess they saw something I could offer. It wasn't a big role, it was a really short one, but it was such a good fun. One thing I remember today, it was absolutely freezing that day. So that's one thing.
I can imagine.
It was in a Cannes Film Festival, yes.
And you attend the festival that year? You attend the premiere?
Personally, I didn't, but the producers they attended.
Yeah, but it's still good now that your first role was screened on the Cannes. I think I can imagine the beautiful experience you feel, even was your first one. That's good.
It's unreal. It really is unreal. Like, speaking about unreal experiences, like, I remember while being in Estonia, I watched this TV show. I was young. I watched this TV show called Võru Road, which is about the school. And there was a character, a headmaster in that TV series I really liked. I thought he was such a good actor, such a good character. And then after probably like fast forward to 5 years into the future, I moved to England and I got a role in a TV series, a different one. And the same actor was acting right next to me. I watched like when I was a kid. So it was such an unreal experience.
Wow, fantastic. And what about later you appear in the Loose Ends? How was the experience for that?
Loose Ends, I think it was, it was different, but it was fun because I remember I was playing the hostage. So I was kind of like, it was again a short film at the beginning of my career, and I was tied up in a chair and basically get beaten up. But again, it was a really difficult role because you need to be scared in that moment. So you need to find that moment, what makes you scared, what makes you cry. And crying has never been my strong point, but I'm getting there. But yeah, that taught me.
And also I found that, like, in my side, I love the vampire stories, and I found that you were part of the cast for the Angel of Death. You played a violin role. How was it?
Yes, that was the second film I produced.
Oh, you produced.
Yes, that's actually one of mine. One of my so-called bigger projects. So the experience with this one was completely different because I had to do everything myself. You know, I had to find the right people. I had to find the crew. I had to find I even found the actors. So it took me a long time to actually write this one because when I'm writing stuff, I'm a perfectionist. You know, every single word needs to be perfect. So I remember just going back and forth with the script. So again, I produced the film to make more opportunities for myself and other people. So I had to play one of the characters. I just had to. And I'm always been fascinated with the bad guys, the villains. So
that's what I see, that the ones that you produce, you love to be the violence, the bad guys.
I'm always the bad guy.
It's more fun.
It is actually. It really is, because I think like being a bad guy, it's more complex. You know, even with the bad guys, they're not just bad. You know, there's a reason why they are doing this stuff, and it's really interesting to find out about those characters. You know, why they are doing these things. And sometimes motives are not really bad, but the society makes them look bad. Like if you, like for example, if you look at the Dark Knight, the Joker, like specifically from Dark Knight, like his motives were actually good. He wanted the peace, but he's kind of peace. But the way he was doing everything was bad. So again, Joker is such a good character. So yeah, it's more interesting to play bad guys.
I see. And also, and what about the Destiny? It's a series. You did the violin again. How was? Can you tell us more about
that? Yes, that was the project that one of my good friends produced, who I met in my acting class actually, and he's got the production company, and I think it's the project he's been working on since he was like 12 or so, like a long time. So one day he came to me and said, you know what, I've got this character I think you will be really good at if you're interested. So he sent me the script, the first draft, because he didn't have a full script back then. And I thought, you know what, that's the character I would love to play. It's one of those characters I've always wanted to play. And I just had to say yes. And it was so fun.
Fantastic.
That was the first time I could actually use like firearms in a production. So that was a really good moment.
Fantastic. And I noticed that you're very attracted to natural films. Why supernatural? Why you feel attracted to those type of films or topics?
Again, it's just I'm fascinated about them. I've always been fascinated about the fantasy and supernatural things. I haven't experienced anything supernatural myself. Well, anything you would consider too supernatural, too crazy, nothing like that. But it's just how to explain. It's something you're not able to do in real life. You know, in real life, you can't, jump off the walls, or you don't have any so-called superpowers. But in film everything is possible, and I find it so fascinating. Like in films, you can do anything, like listen, and when it's just an opportunity to do something like this, so it's just really interesting. It's just really interesting.
That's good. And also, you produce and direct. You also were part of the cast for The Taken. Originally was the title "We Are Lost" due to the crew member suggestion. How was it?
Yeah, it was another another project of mine. At first, it was titled "We Are Lost," but then everyone kept shouting at me, "No, no, no! The Taken is better. Taken is better." So we just had to change it. It was really good because that was the first time we actually used a huge amount of makeup to one of the characters. It actually took us like 3 hours to do the makeup. And I don't know if you've seen the pictures, but the makeup it looked so real. Like we had this, like he was playing a Lucifer, a devil. And so we had the whole face kind of like burnt, and it looked really disgusting, really scary, and looked really real. Unfortunately, it never got released like properly to the wide public because we had so many issues with the sound. And I just felt like we can't release that if the sound is not perfect. Again, I'm such a perfectionist. So it's something I definitely want to go back to, and probably make it even better.
That's good. That's good. And then Book of Monsters, you gained 7 and 8. You win 7 awards and then 8 nominations worldwide.
And personally, I didn't get any of those.
Oh, you didn't get any of those.
Yeah, I was just an actor. I didn't produce that one.
Okay,
yeah, it was through casting, and I got a role there. It's probably one of my favorite roles to this date. I didn't play a bad guy, which is a shame, but I did get ripped in half, literally. Like I remember, like they had all these mannequins made specifically to me. They looked like me, the same hair, same outfit. So I remember entering the scene was I entered the building, I wanted to party, and then the monster comes behind me and just rips me in half, which was really strange to actually see on a big screen. But yeah, it was so fun. I remember there was fake blood everywhere. Everyone were completely soaked in the fake blood. I'm so glad I didn't have to clean that up. But it would have been a
Can imagine. And also, how was your experience with Bollywood, with Commando 3?
That was a bit of a weird one for me because everything happened so quick. I remember one of my friends messaged me out of nowhere and said, "Okay, they are looking for these people, and if you're interested in, they are filming next day." I was like, in a different city as well. So without even really asking any questions, I said yes, and because I've never been really watching Bollywood films, so I didn't really know like how they do things around there. But to be fair, like everything was same as I'm used to, but it was just, I don't know how to explain, but it was just strange to be in a Bollywood film in something you're not really used to. Like I knew Bollywood film, but like all the characters and the way they were doing things. And we didn't have a studio. Everything happened in the city central, literally. Yeah, it was a really good experience. I didn't really do much there. I don't even think I met any main characters. So yeah, it was a strange one. It was a bit of strange one.
I can imagine. But Taavi, you have been appearing in multiple commercials, training videos for companies. You also did voiceover work, but also you have a podcast, and it's on something that you create during the pandemic. Can you tell us about your podcast show?
Yes. As I already mentioned, I like to keep myself busy. And obviously during the lockdown, I couldn't do any acting or wrestling or all those things. So I had to find something to keep myself busy. And I've always wanted to make a podcast for some reason, but I always had an excuse. I don't have time. And I say excuse because I don't like that word, excuses, but it was an excuse. I didn't have enough time. So yeah, I started the podcast finally, and it was more about, like you do, really interviewing different people from different areas, the singers, other actors, athletes, and I met some really good people there. Through my podcast, I can now actually call friends, and
yes, I have the same experience as the beauty.
Like it all starts from a simple interview, and then you just become friends. It's really strange. Unfortunately, the podcast at the moment is on hiatus for the same reason. I don't have enough time at the moment because obviously, it takes a lot of work. It really does. So yeah, at the moment, I just don't have enough time. So it's on a hiatus, on a pause at the moment, but I'm getting back to it.
That's good. No, this is like you say, it's a lot of elaboration, a lot of work, and especially when we have another job besides this one. But it's something like the beauty is the connections, how we connect the people that we admire. We love the bands, we love the actor or the director, and now they become we build a good friendship. That's the beauty of this.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, of the podcast. That's good. That's good. And looking forward for your new shows. And what's next? What's your upcoming projects, Taavi?
Well, just before the lockdown, when all the COVID things happened, I started working on a feature film called Babyface. Which is going to be a big one. That's about the professional wrestling. Like the WWE stuff, but the UK version of this, because that's another thing I'm doing. I'm a professional wrestler as well. So that's going to be the next one. It was supposed to be finished by now, but obviously when COVID happened, that basically ruined everything.
Exactly.
You had so many delays after that as well. So yeah, that's going to be the next one. We already have filmed quite a few scenes. So there's still quite a few scenes to do, and hopefully soon. Next.
Then looking forward for the updates, and then we're looking forward to do more interviews with you to follow up with your career, and looking forward for that particular project will be awesome to share to the audience.
Thank you very much. No, absolutely, I would love to be back, and yeah, thanks for having me.
Fantastic. And the last question I ask to all my guests, because the purpose of this podcast is for inspirational purposes, to inspire others. So what advice you can share to those people who want to be in the film industry?
Do it. No excuses. Just do it. That's literally the greatest advice I can give you. There's I know I already said I didn't have enough time to do the podcast. But I also know it's not an excuse. There's 24 hours in a day. There's plenty of time to do things, and just work hard, because nothing comes easy.
Exactly.
The way I think is, when people go to sleep at night, I spend another extra half an hour improving my skills to do something. And that's half an hour extra that other people do. And that's a really good mindset to have. Just do a bit more than you're supposed to. Always do a bit extra.
Give the extra. That's the key.
Give the extra, especially.
That's good. But thank you so much, Taavi. Do you want to add anything else? Any additional comments, or you want to share something to the audience before we wrap up?
Subscribe to your channel.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, everyone should watch your videos. I've seen quite a few interviews you've done they're really, really good.
Thank you
really
so much.
And yeah, just subscribe to you.
Exactly. And thank you so much. And looking forward for your coming new shows for your podcast, and also looking forward for more interviews about your coming project for Babyface. That's the name of the feature film. And yes, and don't stop, Taavi. You're very inspirational, very beautiful soul, and I'm very honored to meeting you and call your friend. Thank you so much for this honor. Thank you, Taavi. So I speak with you soon, and thank you again for being on my show.
No, thanks for having me. See you soon.